Have you ever wondered how a single lapse in judgment can unravel a life built over years? Today, we're exploring the profound and painful impact of infidelity. It's a topic that's often shrouded in secrecy and shame, yet its consequences reverberate through lives, families, and communities. In any relationship, trust is paramount. It's the bedrock upon which we build our deepest connections. Trust is like a delicate glass sculpture, stunningly beautiful, yet so fragile. All it takes is one act, one moment of betrayal to shatter it into a million pieces. And once it's broken, can it ever truly be restored? Infidelity is that hammer strike to the glass. It's a betrayal that cuts deep, leaving scars that may never fully heal. It's an act that not only jeopardizes the present, but also casts a shadow over the future. Today, we delve into a story that shows just how devastating the aftermath of infidelity can be. Meet Sarah and John, seemingly the perfect couple with a life many would envy. Their story is one that's familiar yet remarkable. Two college sweethearts, their love was kindled in the backdrop of lecture halls and late-night study sessions. The sparks that flew then became an unquenchable flame, leading to a beautiful wedding ceremony surrounded by their loved ones. Their life together was nothing short of a fairy tale. John, a successful entrepreneur, and Sarah, a talented designer, built a home filled with laughter, warmth, and mutual respect. They were the epitome of a perfect couple, their happiness palpable and their contentment evident. Their bond was so strong, their love so deep, it was as if they were two halves of the same soul. Together they wove a tapestry of shared dreams, creating memories that seemed to echo the promise of a happily ever after. But as they say, even the most beautiful roses have thorns. One day Sarah made a choice that would forever alter the course of their lives. This was not a decision she took lightly. It began as an innocent friendship with a colleague named Mark. They shared coffee breaks, exchanged ideas, and found comfort in each other's company during long office hours. As time passed, the lines between friendship and something deeper began to blur. Sarah found herself drawn to Mark's charisma, his thoughtfulness, and the undeniable spark that ignited whenever they were together. She was living a double life, one as a devoted wife and mother, another as a woman entangled in an affair she never planned. This was a dance on a tightrope. She'd wake up next to her husband, share breakfast with her kids, and then steal moments with Mark in stolen afternoons. It was a whirlwind of emotions, the thrill of the secret countered by the pang of guilt that gnawed at her conscience. Sarah was torn between the love for her family and the passion she felt for Mark. She was living in a world of contrasts, a world of laughter and tears, of love and guilt. Every stolen kiss, every secret rendezvous was a reminder of the line she had crossed. The emotional turmoil was immense. Sarah was a woman caught in a storm, wrestling with her feelings, battling the guilt that threatened to consume her. Every night she'd look at her sleeping husband, the man she had promised to love and cherish, and feel the weight of her betrayal pressing down on her. Yet, she continued on this path, driven by a force she couldn't understand. The affair was like a drug, intoxicating and addictive, pulling her deeper into its clutches with each passing day. Little did she know, the consequences of her actions were about to catch up with her. Sarah's world came crashing down when she discovered she was pregnant, and John was not the father. The realization left her breathless, her heartbeat echoing loudly in her ears. It was as if a dark, ominous cloud had descended, casting shadows on the life she had known. Sarah's mind was a whirlpool of shock and despair. She had made a terrible mistake, one that threatened to shatter the perfect life she had built with John. She looked at her reflection in the mirror, the harsh truth staring back at her. She was pregnant with another man's child. The weight of her unfaithfulness bore heavily on her, a burden she could no longer ignore. Days turned into sleepless nights as Sarah grappled with her reality. The once vibrant woman was now a shell of her former self, consumed by guilt and fear. She was torn between two difficult paths, keeping the secret or confessing her infidelity. Her thoughts were a tumultuous sea of self-reproach and worry. What would John say? Would he ever forgive her? Could their love withstand the betrayal? The questions haunted her, their answers elusive, as slippery as a bar of soap in a wet hand. She found herself at crossroads, her heart heavy with the weight of her secret. But within the chaos of her thoughts, a glimmer of clarity began to emerge. She realized that honesty, no matter how painful, was the only path towards redemption. The truth had a way of surfacing, she knew, and so she made the gut-wrenching decision to confess. Sarah's heart pounded as she prepared to face John. She rehearsed her words, each one heavier than the last. Her stomach churned with anxiety, but she was resolute. She owed John the truth regardless of the consequences. As she stepped into the room, she took a deep breath. The air felt heavy, as if it too was holding its breath, waiting for the storm to unleash. She looked into John's eyes, her own filled with regret and fear. The moment of truth was upon them. When Sarah broke the news to John, their perfect world shattered in an instant. Imagine a man, standing in the middle of what used to be his sanctuary, his home, now feeling like a stranger in his own life. That was John. The words that tumbled from Sarah's lips, so casually admitting her infidelity, were like shards of glass, piercing his heart. John's first reaction was disbelief. He looked at Sarah, his wife, the mother of their child, and he couldn't comprehend the truth. But as Sarah's confession hung in the air, a chilling reality set in. The woman he had pledged his life to had broken their sacred bond. The betrayal cut deeper than any physical wound ever could. He felt a surge of emotions, anger, sadness, confusion, all intertwined like a knot in his stomach. He wanted to shout, to rage against the injustice of it all, but all he could do was stand there silent as his world crumbled around him. Sarah's confession didn't just shatter their trust, it broke the very foundation of their relationship. The immediate fallout was like a hurricane, sweeping away the remnants of what they once had. There were tears, there were arguments. Their home, once filled with laughter and love, was now consumed by a deafening silence. John was left grappling with the ruins of their relationship. He had to come to terms with the fact that his perfect family was an illusion, shattered by one reckless act. He felt like a man adrift on a sea of uncertainty, struggling to make sense of the wreckage. Meanwhile, Sarah was left to face the consequences of her actions. She had to look into the eyes of the man she had betrayed and see the hurt she had caused. She had to live with the guilt, the regret, knowing she was the architect of their downfall. John was left grappling with the ruins of their relationship, and Sarah was left to face the consequences of her actions. In the aftermath of the confession, both Sarah and John had to come to terms with the reality of their situation. The picture-perfect life they had once shared was now tainted with the harsh truth of betrayal, a truth that bore the weight of an unborn child. Sarah's guilt was a constant companion, a daily reminder of the choices she had made. Every look in the mirror, every kick from the baby growing inside her was a painful echo of her unfaithfulness. She wished she could turn back time, erase her mistakes. But life isn't a movie, and there was no magic eraser to wipe away the hurt she had caused. John, on the other hand, was left grappling with feelings of betrayal and heartbreak. The woman he had shared his life with, the woman he had trusted above all else, had shattered his world with a single confession. He felt abandoned, left to pick up the pieces of a life he thought he knew. The love he once held for Sarah was now replaced with a cold emptiness that echoed in the halls of their once shared home. In the end, their relationship couldn't bear the weight of Sarah's actions. The trust that had once held them together had been irreparably broken. They both had to face the reality that their love story had turned into a cautionary tale. The aftermath was filled with tears, regret, and lessons learned the hard way. The emotional toll on both Sarah and John was immense. They had to navigate through the ruins of their relationship and find a way to heal. It was a journey filled with pain, regret, and a longing for a past that could never be reclaimed. Sarah's story serves as a stark reminder that our actions have consequences, and once trust is broken, it's almost impossible to rebuild. Choose wisely, for every choice carries a consequence.
Kindly subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, leave a like and share to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.